Hello everyone, this is Meenakshi Dilip Birare, working as a assistant professor in chemistry at Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samaj, Nasik. In previous lecture, we have studied the collision theory. The collision theory was inadequate to explain the mechanism of most of the reactions. Therefore, a more modern theory known as transition state theory was given by Eyring and Polanyi in 1935. So, in today's lecture, we are going to study transition state theory, thermodynamic aspects of transition state theory, and also the comparison between collision theory and transition state theory. Transition state theory describes a hypothetical transition state that occurs in the space between the reactants and products in a chemical reaction. The species that is formed during the transition state is known as activated complex. The transition state theory is also used to describe how a chemical reaction occurs, and it is based upon collision theory. If the rate constant for a reaction is known, transition state theory can be used successfully to calculate the standard enthalpy of activation, the standard entropy of activation, and the standard Gibbs energy of activation. The transition state theory is also referred to as activated complex theory, absolute rate theory, and theory of absolute reaction rates. The transition state theory is based on the statistical thermodynamics. The theory postulates that the reacting molecules must form an activated complex, a configuration which possesses higher energy than reactants and products, and the equilibrium exists between the activated complex and reactants. So in this we can observe the reactants are converted firstly into the activated complex, and then there is the formation of final products. So this theory postulates that the reacting molecules must form an activated complex, a configuration which possesses the higher energy than the reactants and products, and the equilibrium exists between activated complex and reactants. The activated complex is unstable because of its high energy, and it decomposes at a definite rate, which is also the rate of the reaction, to form the products, reaction products. The activated complex alternatively may change back to the reactants. If we consider the bimolecular reaction A plus B, which give the formation of product, the activated complex may be represented as AB star. So here the reactants are firstly converted into the activated complex AB star, and then this activated complex are further converted into products. So reactants absorbs the activation energy and goes to the higher energy state, so that the activated complex or transition state is unstable, and then these activated complex molecules are further converted into products. The activated complex is similar to the ordinary molecules. The only difference is that the molecules of activated complex have a transient existence only, that is, it has a temporary stability and breaks up at a definite rate to give the products of the reaction. Transition state theory is also known as theory of absolute reaction rates. A more modern theory extensively developed by Eyring and Polanyi, co-workers, called absolute reaction rate theory, or also known as activated complex theory or transition state theory. The rate constant is calculated using the statistical thermodynamics. The transition state theory is based on the statistical thermodynamics. So what are the postulates of transition state theory? First one, the molecules before undergoing the reaction must form an activated complex in equilibrium with reactants. Second one, the rate of any reaction is given by the rate of decomposition of the activated complex to form reaction product. The transition state theory is based on the statistical thermodynamics, and according to transition state theory, the theory postulates that the reacting molecules must form an activated complex, a configuration possessing the higher energy than reactants and products. So molecules before undergoing the reaction must form an activated complex in equilibrium with reactants. The rate of any reaction is given by the rate of decomposition of the activated complex to form reaction products. The activated complex may be formed by some loose association or bonding of reactant molecules with necessary rearrangement of valence bond and energy, or if it be a unimolecular reaction, the reactant molecule may produce the activated complex by rearrangement of atoms and redistribution of energy. Then the activated complex decomposes into products. Consider the potential energy of reacting system as a function of reaction coordinate. The reactant A and B have a definite potential energy. So if we observe this reaction coordinate versus the energy, potential energy or Gibbs free energy, this graph shows that the reactants are firstly converted into the transition state or activated complex, and further these are converted into products. So as the reaction proceeds, the reactant A and B approaches each other, come in contact and exchange atoms. The potential energy of the exchange atoms and also the potential energy of the system rises as shown in this figure, and it becomes maximum at these two reactant particles have come very close to each other, and that is called as activated complex. So this crucial configuration, it is called as a transition state activated complex. This activated complex is in equilibrium with the reactant. The activated complex may transform into the product and potential energy decreases. So when we observe the potential energy on y-axis and the reaction coordinates on x-axis, the reactants absorbs some energy, goes to the transition state, or there is the formation of activated complex. Then the activated complex may transform into the product and potential energy decreases. As the reactant molecules approach each other, there is a continuous series of changes in bond distances. These changes are accompanied by the energy changes. The reactant molecules are transformed into an energy-rich intermediate, and that is called as activated complex or transition state. The activated complex may be formed by some loose association or bonding of reactant molecules. The activated complex, though unstable, has a transient existence. It is treated formally and as a definite molecule with an independent entity. The activated complex is an equilibrium with the reactants. The potential energy of activated complex is maximum. Then this activated complex decomposes into products, and at that time the potential energy decreases. The activation energy of the reaction in the light of transition state theory is defined as the additional energy which the reacting molecules must acquire to form the activated complex. So if we consider the potential energy of the reacting system as a function of reaction coordinate, the reactant A and B have a definite potential energy. As the reaction proceeds, the reactants A and B approaches each other, come in contact, and there is the exchange of the atoms, and the potential energy of the system rises. So it can be explained by using this figure, the graph in which potential energy versus reaction coordinate, there is the formation of transition state or activated complex. Now this example, in that example also, the first one that hydroxide ion and bromomethane, second one transition state, and there is a formation of methanol and bromide. So the reaction shown above involves the reactants hydroxide and bromomethane forming the products, and these are methanol and bromide. The first part of this image shows that reactants. The second part of the image shows the transition state in which the activated complex is formed with rearranged molecules and different bonds. So this activated complex, though unstable, it may be formed by some loose association or bonding of reacting molecules. A successful collision and the reaction have clearly occurred because in the third part of the image, the products that are methanol and bromide are formed that are different than the reactants hydroxide and bromomethane. So these are the reactors, formation of transition state, and there is the formation of products. Let us see the thermodynamic aspects of transition state theory. Consider the reaction A plus B reactants give the formation of activated complex which are represented by AB star. Then further these activated complex molecules are converted into product. Eyring derived the equation for the rate constant K of the reaction and equilibrium constant K star. So this equation, on the basis of the ideas, Eyring was able to show that the rate constant K of any reaction, no matter what the molecularity or the order may be, it is given by this expression, that is K is equal to RT upon NH into K star. In this equation, R is the gas constant in ergs per mole per degree, N it is the Avogadro number, H is the Planck's constant, T absolute temperature, and K star it is equilibrium constant for the formation of activated complex from the reactants. Eyring derived the equation for the rate constant K of the reaction and equilibrium constant K star, which is K is equal to RT upon NH into K star. So here H is the Planck's constant, which is equal to 6.625 into 10 raised to minus 27 erg second. So we should remember the value of Planck's constant, that is 6.625 into 10 raised to minus 27 erg second. R is the gas constant, T absolute temperature, N Avogadro's number, and K star it is the equilibrium constant for the formation of activated complex from the reactants. Let delta G star be the change in free energy accompanying the formation of the activated complex. Then according to want of reaction isotherm, which correlates the equilibrium constant with free energy change accompanying the reaction. So we have delta G star is equal to minus RT ln K star, or ln K star is equal to delta G star divided by R into T. So this is the equation number 2. It is equation number 3. We know that delta G star is equal to delta H star minus T delta S star. So this is the equation number 4. Here delta G star it is the free energy change for activation. Delta H star and delta S star are the enthalpy of activation and entropy of activation. So delta H, it is the enthalpy. So here the star, so we can say delta H star, it is the enthalpy of activation, delta S star, entropy of activation, and delta G star, it is the free energy change for activation. So substituting this equation 4 in equation 3. So we have the equation number 4. So we can put these values of the equation 3 into equation 4. We get ln k star is equal to minus delta S star minus T delta S star divided by R into T. Then ln, that is logarithm to the base e. We get k star is equal to e raised to minus delta H star plus T into delta S star divided by R into T. So this is the equation number 5. Equilibrium constant for reaction k star is equal to e raised to e into minus delta H star plus T delta S star divided by R into T. Or substituting equation 5 in equation 1, k is equal to RT upon NH into e raised to delta S star divided by R into e raised to minus delta H star divided by R into T. So this is the equation number 6. Then taking log of equation number 6, ln k is equal to ln RT divided by n into h minus delta H star minus T into delta S star divided by R into T. Then ln k is equal to ln RT divided by NH minus delta H star divided by RT plus delta S star divided by R into T. We can give this equation number 7. Knowing K and delta H star, the entropy of activation delta S star can be calculated. The rate constant K and energy of activation EA are experimentally known. Now what is the applicability of the equations? The equations that correlates the rate constant of the reaction with delta G star is very significant. The equation means that if the change in free energy of formation of activated complex is high, the reaction will be slow, and higher the delta G star, slower is the reaction rate at a given temperature. Further, according to the above equation, if delta H star and the rate constant of the reaction are known, delta S star can be calculated. So delta H star can be determined from energy of activation using the following relation. So delta H star is equal to energy of activation EA minus R into T. So the delta H star can be obtained from the energy of activation of the reaction. The energy of activation can be roughly identified with internal energy changes accompanying the formation of activated complex. So we have delta H star is equal to EA minus RT for first order, delta H star is equal to EA minus 2 RT for second order, and delta H star is equal to EA minus 3 RT for third order. For first, second and third order reactions, provided the respective rate constant are expressed in concentration units, the equation applicable to formation of activated complex for these reactions are delta H star is equal to EA minus RT, delta H star is equal to EA minus twice RT, delta H star is equal to EA minus thrice RT. So in the formation of activated complex, delta N is always negative, as from two or more molecules a molecule of activated complex is formed. So there are the advantages of absolute rate reaction theory. So what are the advantages? So it is not restricted to bimolecular reaction. It is also applicable to unimolecular or tertiary molecular reactions. So it is one of the advantage of absolute rate reaction theory. It is not restricted to bimolecular reactions only, but it is also applicable to unimolecular or termolecular reactions. Second advantage, it can be applied to reactions in solutions and cannot be obtained from kinetic theory. It provides the quantitative treatment of steric factor P in the collision theory. So we have already studied probability factor or steric factor in collision theory. The transition state theory or absolute rate reaction theory provides quantitative treatment of steric factor P in the collision theory. It can be applied to reactions in solution where the collision frequency Z cannot be obtained from kinetic theory, and it is applicable to unimolecular or termolecular reactions. So these are the advantages of absolute rate reaction theory. Now what are the advantages of transition state theory? We can summarize that energy of activation and A can be calculated by using transition state theory. Also the steric factor or probability factor P can be predicted by using transition state theory. It explains why the reaction pathway is specific. So the reaction pathway, it is specific, it can be explained by transition state theory, and it is also applicable to gaseous and aqueous reactions. It is also applicable to unimolecular or termolecular reactions. So these are the advantages of transition state theory. Now let us see the comparison of collision theory with transition state theory. Already in previous lecture we have studied collision theory in detail. So let us see the comparison between transition state theory and collision theory. So according to collision theory, we have this equation K is equal to P into Z into E raised to minus EA upon RT. While according to transition state theory, we have K is equal to RT upon NH into E raised to delta S star upon R into E raised to minus delta H star upon R into T. Since Z is a constant here and RT upon NH, this factor is also constant. So according to collision theory, there is a collision frequency Z which is a constant, and here this factor RT upon NH is also constant in transition state theory. So it is clear that probability factor is related to entropy of activation, that is RT upon NH into E raised to delta S star upon R into E raised to minus delta H star divided by R into T is equal to P into Z into E raised to minus EA upon RT. Since delta H star is equal to EA, that is energy of activation, and that is enthalpy for activation. Therefore, E raised to minus delta H star divided by R into T is equal to E raised to minus EA upon RT. Therefore, P into Z is equal to RT upon NH into E raised to delta S star upon R. Since both in collision theory Z and in transition theory RT upon NH have the frequency units, the probability factor may be identified with change in entropy accompanying the formation of activated complex. So here delta S star is the change in entropy of activated complex. The main factor responsible for the discrepancy between the observed rate constant and the one calculated from collision theory is then delta S star. For reactions involving simple molecules, delta S star is small and hence the observed K value agree satisfactorily with calculated values. The formation of activated complex from reactor molecules containing large number of atoms is accompanied with a large decrease in delta S star. So, the factor e raised to minus delta S star upon R is much less than unity, and that is why the observed K differs from the calculated K, that is Z into e raised to minus Ea upon RT by a large factor. So that the transition state theory provides theoretical interpretation to the probability factor P that was introduced empirically in collision theory. So this, it is given by collision theory and this one is given by transition state theory. So transition state theory provides the theoretical interpretation to the probability factor P, and the collision theory provides empirical values of probability factor P. The probability factor is related to entropy of activation because Z and RT upon NH both are constant, so both are related. In collision theory, the factor A is related to the number of collisions taking part per unit volume per second, and in the transition state theory, A is connected to the entropy of activation. In reaction involving simple molecules, the value of A is found to be the same as Z, that is collision frequency. That is, for simple molecules, both theories are identical, that is collision theory and transition state theory are identical for simple molecules. Then for reactions involving complex molecules, the collision theory fails but the transition state theory still persists. The probability of reaction between polyatomic molecules is low because rotational and translational freedoms are lost. When the reactants are tied together into the activated complex, this loss of freedom is measured also by the entropy of activation, which is negative. Hence, the frequency factor A is much less than the collision number Z. So, in collision theory, this factor A is also related with the number of collisions, and in transition state theory, A is connected to the entropy of activation. In short, the collision theory is based on kinetic theory, while the transition state theory is based on the important thermodynamic aspects. The collision theory gives good results for gas phase reactions, but it is not in the case of solutions, while the transition state theory is satisfactory for gas as well as solutions. So these are also the comparative points with collision theory and transition state theory. So in previous lecture we have studied in detail collision theory, and in today's lecture we have discussed in detail transition state theory. So we should remember the comparative points with collision theory and that of transition state theory. So collision theory is based on kinetic theory, while transition state theory is based on important thermodynamic aspect. Collision theory gives good results for gas phase reactions, but it is not in the case of solutions, while the transition state theory is satisfactory for gas as well as solutions. So that is the comparison between transition state theory and collision theory. So this one is the summary for comparison between activated complex theory, that is transition state theory, and collision theory. So what is the definition of activated complex theory or transition state theory? Activated complex theory is a thermodynamic theory which describes the presence of a transition state between reactants and final products, while collision theory is a thermodynamic theory which describes the progression of a chemical reaction through the collisions between reactants to form products. In activated complex theory, a chemical reaction progresses through an activated complex in the transition state, while in collision theory, a chemical reaction progresses through the collisions between reactants having enough kinetic energy to break down existing chemical bonds and form new chemical bonds. For activated complex theory, the accuracy is higher as compared to collision theory. Collision theory having lower accuracy, and the activated complex theory, it is higher, and the collision theory having the lower names. So that is again the comparative things related to activated complex theory and collision theory. In today's lecture, we have studied in detail transition state theory, thermodynamic aspects of transition state theory, and also the comparison between collision theory and transition state theory. I hope you understand all the topics from chemical kinetics. In next lecture, we will solve some numericals related to chemical kinetics. Thank you.